With the school year approaching the end, many of you will be applying for jobs, internships, or in general just need a resume. A resume is important for the job application process as it showcases the most important achievements you have and it showcases who you are. Applicants will need a resume for other things such as academics, and it is vital to know how to build one. Today I will be going over formatting of a resume, what not to do for a resume, and why exactly it is so important to have a resume on hand. The header of your resume should have your name, your full name, and that should be the biggest thing on your whole resume. Following suit, it should have your contact information, which includes your email, your phone number, possibly your address, and possibly a LinkedIn profile. You want to refrain from being unprofessional with this, so if your email is something like hotgirl223@gmail.com, you might want to consider changing it. Moving on, the first section following suit to that may vary depending on what you are applying for. If it's more academic, you want to include your education portion first, but this is for more of a work resume, so you will include your work experience first. You will include where you worked, what your position is, the month to year you started, and the month to year you ended. If you have not ended yet, you will just put present. You want to include objectives you've had at this career, but also refrain from using simple terms like I work drive-through and use more terminology that is present with business, such as worked in an effective and fast-paced manner. You do want to refrain from using jobs where you only maybe worked 3 weeks. If it is required for you to put those, you should, but you want to look the best that you can on a resume, and that may not be presenting you in the best show limelight. Moving on to education, you want to add where you are currently at. So for all of you, it would be high school. For this, you're going to add your GPA if it is a highly competitive GPA. You also want to add any achievements such as honor roll or other achievements within your clubs, possibly, and positions of leadership. Following suit, you want to add volunteer experience. This can showcase a well-rounded individual and make recruiters more likely to hire you. According to Indeed.com, recruiters have less than 30 seconds to look at each resume, averaging 6 to 7 seconds on each resume. Now, we're going to look at what you should not do for your resume. I have one right here that I will be highlighting. So the main issue with this one is it's too busy. Recruiters are typically, they just stop looking at resumes that are too busy. According to Zippa.com, 40% of recruiters reject people just because there's too much going on in their resume. For example, this whole section can be a little difficult to read, and while time is precious in this stage, they're not going to read it. Another issue with this is the way the skills are portrayed in this little bar thing. This little bar thing. It really just does not make sense to use that, and it's too much. It's out of vanity purposes, and it doesn't really showcase skills that well. You also want to refrain from having big block text like these. You want to refrain from having these because recruiters are not going to look at it. In your resume, you should have clear and precise statements, and you should not have more than 2 sentences following each other. All right, and It is vital for you to have a resume because a lot of people will require it, but also with the online application process, recruiters are getting more applicants than ever, especially with online app, online positions. You need to be able to stand out, and having a good and solid resume can do that. It is also really important to know how to make a resume because the way you format your resume will vary with the positions you apply for, such as academics versus career. To recap, today we went over the formatting of a resume, what you should not do for a resume, and why exactly it isn't so important to have a resume. Thank you.